Group 3 consists of Cyril, Vignesh, Bharat, Akshay and me Satya. And today we will make a presentation on renewable energies in supply chain management. So what is a renewable energy? Renewable energy is a word that refers to kinds of energy that are intrinsic and obtained from environment and sources that can be regenerated naturally. The major types of sources of renewable energy are solar energy, geothermal energy, wind energy, biomass and hydropower. Now we are going to discuss about renewable energy in supply chain. So what is renewable energy in supply chain? As we all know, supply chain management is handling of the entire production flow of a good or service, starting from raw components all the way to delivering the final product to the consumer. Now Cyril is going to explain about the top priorities in renewable energy supply chain.
Here I am focusing on the top priorities that we have to consider while thinking about supply chain and renewable energy. As we all know that one of the most important thing in whole supply chain process is ensuring continuous supply of raw materials according to the demand without any disruption in the whole process. Along with this, while we consider renewable energy, we have to promote the usage of renewable energy technologies like solar, wind and hydropower. Another important factor that we have to implement is the use of renewable energy resources. By replacing the source of energy based on renewable natural resources, we can reduce the dependency on non-renewable energy sources such as fossil fuels. And as a result, this can significantly reduce the greenhouse gas emission and global warming. And the other point is I'm focusing on the benefits that we are getting while we depend on renewable energy sources. So there are numerous benefits that we can achieve by promoting renewable energy sources. The company should rethink their energy procurement strategies that they are going to implement and how they will make use of the modern technologies and laws for this. And while we are thinking about the primary advantages, we can find that by totally depending upon the renewable energy sources, we can produce very clean, dependable energy since it's not like non-renewable energy sources, and moreover, there will not be any harmful discharge. While focusing on natural renewable sources, to some extent, it can protect us from commodity price volatility. This means the price fluctuation of a commodity. For example, when gas price rise, it can be a drag on the economy, impacting everything from customer spending to the price of airline ticket to hiring practice. Gas is an important input for transportation while directly impacting household as they drive, and also business that rely on logistic and transportation chains around the globe. And the third point is that it will reduce financial and reputational consequences since we can save a good amount of money by avoiding non-renewable energy sources and contributing in a good way to reduce environmental issues. And the fourth point is we can reduce long-term energy expense and expenditure. For example, if you are implementing a few solar panels, it's something like it's a one-time investment for several years. So in effect, we can save a good amount of money. And the last point is increase income by making a room for added goods, service or business models. And the other secondary advantages that we are gaining by following renewable energy sources are the first one is we can improve the corporate culture and employee engagement and advance the sustainable agenda and contribute to the achievement of sustainability goals. That means we can develop an eco-friendly culture by engaging everyone in an organization, so everyone can contribute from their side to be a part of this. And moreover, by promoting renewable energy sources, it can improve the corporate reputation, so the organization can improve its reputation and stand out when comparing to other competing corporates. And at last, we can say like it will drive company development by keeping up with competition and communicating to customers that you're leading in environmental sustainability, which means that the company can present themselves as a model for others to follow. So next topic will be taken by Vignesh and he will explain about the impacts.
Thank you, Cyril. Hi, everyone. Impacts of renewable energy. Main impact is generating energy that produces no greenhouse emission from fossil fuels and reduces some types of air pollution in the environment. It helps us to bring cost and risk benefits throughout the supply chain. It's an active approach mitigating the risk from legislative changes. Let us discuss something positive impact on corporate. Next slide, Cyril. Yeah, it's an effective manner to enhance in-house experience. For example, if we are implementing renewable energy technology for solar carports in parking garage, it's one of the best option for company to intangible benefits for renewable energy. Let us go through one best example. If a manufacturing company have been saving money for various strategies, however, an energy price fluctuation continue to put an pressure on gross margin, stakeholder expectation, even an environmental impact. For example, recent Ukraine and Russia war increases the fuel price all over the world. As a result, company needs to find and develop a renewable energy strategy that drive forward towards 100% of power for the company for producing, manufacturing, distribution, retail, and for their office administration. Let us go through an operational consideration. The operation consideration consists of 5 major parts. For example, size of the company and its energy profile, facility, market and location, investment, visibility, and proximity. In facility, this is a decision for energy procurement whether we have to use the own or leased land for using our renewable energy. For instance, energy production was differ from one country to another country based upon their climate and their environment. China is the largest producer for wind energy all over the world. They are generating around 2 lakh megawatts. US is the largest production for geothermal power energy. They are producing around 3 lakh megawatts. Ethiopia is the largest producer of biomass power. In the recent investment, China is targeting to bring 50,000 hydrogen fuel cell vehicles on road by 2025. They are planning to invest on their building hydrogen refueling station. They are aiming for green hydrogen production renewable energy. In recently, Canadian government was currently into 2030 emission reduction plan. Canadians' next step to clean air and strong economy. They are planning to invest around 850 million towards this plan. Next, framework for decision making will be continued by Bharat.
Thank you, Vignesh. Now I will explain about the framework for decision making. Renewable energy success factors. The following factors are I am going to explain. Impactful, executive level supports drives purposeful and strategic goals. Impacts are conveyed to internal and external stakeholders. In tailored, adapted to a company's unique demands, limits, and brand identity. And coming to portfolio, method of implementation that enables firms to capitalize on alternate finance and market possibilities. And partnerships, in partnerships, it's like flexible and engaged collaboration strategy to generate unique possibilities and development innovation. And in accountable, implementation responsibility defined by excellent program management and intermediate project goals. Renewable energy technology supplies an excellent opportunity to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions and reduce global warming by replacing conventional energy sources based on natural resources. And next slide, investment impact matrix. To meet energy procurement and sustainability goals, renewable energy investment should be prioritized. While renewable energy can pay off in variety of ways, it's critical to develop the best portfolio for your company's profile and operational needs. To gain the most profits, you need talent, growth, risk mitigation, cost, and efficiency. The amount and type of renewable energy investments we make will affect the individuals we receive in each of the 4 major value driver areas listed above. To achieve the desired position, returns or derived benefits such as energy portfolio that generates positive cash flows and lowers long-term energy costs should be strategically managed. Next, challenges. The challenges which face are, according to Bajmi and Zahedi, there is a lot of literature accessible about the difficulties, problems, and advancements in the electrical industry, with most of the studies focusing on policies and levels of greenhouse gas emissions. A beneficial renewable energy supply chain becomes a strategy that the government could enact because it's crucial to examine the industry from an interdisciplinary perspective as a system of renewable energy supply chain. The constituents of renewable energy are comparable to many common supply chains, which include physical information and financial movements. From standpoint of physical flows, industry rising awareness of green production processes, coordination, and products has become crucial to perform their supply chain management. Moreover, the government and policymakers may use this to create a suitable strategy to make the renewable energy target a reality. Because of heavy usage, non-renewable fuel sources will progressively deplete, causing prices to rise over time. As a result, to reach sustainability, there is a need to transition from fossil fuel-based energy such as coal, oil, and natural gas as major source of energy for renewable energy. And next, recommendations. In recommendations, a major difficulty in addition to storage limits for biomass energy is sustainable production of adequate quantities of biomass. Storage on the ground with low storage costs, intermediate storage between farmers and the stations with higher delivery costs, and lastly, storage near to the station with the lowest delivery costs can all be kept. As a result, the best storage solution for biomass sources make a significant contribution in terms of cost reduction, supply chain system flexibility, and supply chain sustainability. Optimum location of wind farms addressing specific factors such as being far away from urban areas, improving the efficiency of power grids. By using advanced technology, we can all make the main best practices in the wind energy supply chain. And other significant recommendations for overcoming barriers in supply chain for other renewable sources include, namely, the implementation of an efficient energy storage system to supply energy availability while ensuring low cost efficiency conversion devices. It's good for the environment. The topic of renewable energy implementation in this paper might help business practitioners, particularly those in the electric and electronics industries, renewable energy and green technology. As the pillars of renewable energy implementation, the government, senior management support, and the suppliers are proposed if the government ensures renewable energy implementation. This study found that internal factors such as top management, technology, infrastructure, and ability, and external drivers such as government, supplier engagement, and public awareness both contribute to the obstacles of renewable energy adoption. Thank you. From here, Satya will take.
Now we are going to discuss hydrogen in supply chain. Hydrogen is an abundant gas in the universe that can be used to generate clean and safe energy and can be renewed. When it comes to creating green and circular energy systems and economies, hydrogen has been highlighted as a practical alternative to fossil fuels. The procedures for producing, distribution, and dispensing hydrogen make up the hydrogen supply chain. So Akshay is going to take over.
Hi guys, my name is Akshay. As Saraswati has described the hydrogen supply chain, I would add furthermore points to it. The four phases of the hydrogen supply chain are supply phase, RES, solar and wind are increasingly being explored as sources of green hydrogen generation in the supply phase. The significance of water availability as the primary raw material in the electrolysis process, as well as oxygen as the primary raw material in the biomass gasification process production phase. The three primary production technologies are steam, methane reforming, biomass, and coal gasification, and lastly, electrolysis. It is said that the most of the hydrogen is now generated via SMR, which is currently regarded as the most cost-effective technology. And production storage phase. The hydrogen storage phase is viewed as means of dealing with plant maintenance and changes in every consumption, as well as a solution to the problem of power grid balance caused by the increased proportion of energy generation from RES. Distribution phase. The issues of hydrogen transport and factors affect the choice of hydrogen transportation modes, as well as the challenges of public acceptance for the technical revolution in the car ownership sector based on hydrogen levels. Next, the levels. Strategic level. The basics of hydrogen supply chain are so critical, and even the slightest mistake that could cause the companies millions of dollars on a large scale. The uses are limitless, starting from using hydrogen in fuel cells and generating hydrogen powered electricity on a large scale via power grids. Tactical level. The hydrogen which is extracted from the natural reserves is then converted to liquid hydrogen via the process of compression, and these liquids containers are transported via cargo ships to the production plants where the liquid is used in hydrogen cells or mega power projects. Operational level. Small scale on site electrolysis is more energy efficient and less versatile for smaller renewables and hydrogen shares. Increasingly flexible but less energy efficient. Large scale hydrogen supply chains become more efficient as the number of renewables and or hydrogen increases, since they allow temporarily separate hydrogen production from demand via storage. Next, its benefits of hydrogen supply chain. It's a renewable energy source and bountiful in supply. Hydrogen is a rich source of energy for many reasons, the main being that it's bountiful in supply. While it may take a lot of resources to harness it, no other energy source is infinite as hydrogen. That essentially means there is no possibility of running out like other sources of energy. It's far more efficient than the other sources of energy. Hydrogen is an efficient energy type since it has the ability to convey a lot of energy for every pound of fuel compared to diesel or gas. This categorically means that an automobile that utilizes hydrogen energy will travel more miles than one with an equal amount of gasoline. For example, compared to a conventional combustion-based power plant that usually generates electricity between 33 to 35% efficiency, hydrogen fuel cells are capable of generating electricity of up to 65% efficiency, having capacity about 3 times more. Next is challenges in hydrogen supply chain are regulations and political circumstances. When it is unclear to ministry or agency whether the source of hydrogen may be categorized and financially supported as renewable hydrogen, the government steps in. Another regulatory dilemma is the choice between constructing policy instruments with the greatest cost efficiency and responding to the specific local preferences of certain projects. Developing project and markets with the fewest subsidies are sometimes at odds with considering unique regional or local demands. Hydrogen market, an increasingly number of stated projects for green hydrogen generation will entail a unified framework for quality standards and origin assurances for a national-wide hydrogen market to function. However, no policy mechanisms are currently in place to find the various kinds of hydrogen and their origins concretely and legally. Now, the Satya will explain.
Value drivers. A value driver is an activity or capability that increases profitability, reduces risk, and promotes growth in line with strategic objectives. Increased shareholder value, competitive advantage, and customer attractiveness are examples of such objectives. Coming to value drivers for hydrogen, geographical conditions. Good geographical requirements for energy and hydrogen production reveal the ability to successfully gain significant funding from regional and international governments. Level of ability. Hydrogen projects often include a slew of diverse technologies and development phases with a strong interdisciplinary bent. It could, for example, be crucial to the creation of successful project. It is vital to make use of such data to communicate with multiple critical stakeholders at the same time, such as lawmakers, regulators, investors, and contractors. Industrial clusters. This pressing demand for bioenergy acts as a tremendous drive for the growth of hydrogen economy. And the last one is infrastructure. The national hydrogen infrastructure includes a full repurposing of these strategically critical infrastructure pieces for the future hydrogen transmission and distribution services as a long-time producer and consumer of natural gas. Now we will discuss about the future recommendations. The following initiatives should be made to increase corporate demand for clean hydrogen, addresses the investment risk of first movers, assess with cost-cutting initiatives, remove unnecessary regulatory obstacles, and harmonization standards. We need to concentrate on 4 important possibilities to accelerate momentum over the next decade. The first one is encouraging these factories to switch to more environmentally friendly hydrogen generation would lower the overall expenses. The introduction of clean hydrogen to replace nearly 5% of country's natural gas supply would increase demand for hydrogen and lower costs. Fuel cell vehicles may become more competitive if they can be used to power high mileage cars, trucks, and buses that transport passengers and commodities along well traveled routes. If international hydrogen trade is to have an impact on global energy system, it must begin quickly. To conclude, the aims for promoting renewable energy throughout the supply chain should be consistent with the company's overall vision goals, strategy, and ability to implement and constantly improve. Renewable energy is the costliest way to put an end to Earth's ecosystem by not carrying any carbon footprints. By producing and consuming more renewable energy, the country will have more control over fuel imports and less influence on price swings of scarce resources overall. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.